So, what does feminism mean to you?
Feminism to me, I guess, is not just making room for women's rights, but equality among the sexes. So, um, but I guess it's called feminism because there is a need for women to get the rights that men have kind of always had throughout history. But ultimately, the goal is so that everyone's equal and happy.
I kind of see it as women wanting to be equal to men, like in kind of like in just like society in general.
Feminism. Yeah, feminism means that women has same equality to men as men.
Equal rights for all people, regardless of gender identification.
Do you know what the official definition of feminism is?
Yes, because you told me. It's the advocating of women's rights on the grounds of political, social, and economic equality to men.
Like the official one? No.
Um, uh, yeah, I think a range of movement. I just Googled
Do
it.
you identify as a feminist?
Definitely.
Um, I guess so. I mean, I'm for equality and, everyone being happy, and I think that, if someone has the same skill set, there's no reason someone should get paid less or any of that. So, I guess, yes, but the term feminist has become kind of synonymous with just someone who's really, very, aggressive and, almost kind of, bitchy and insane. So I don't identify as that. I identify as a feminist in the way that, I do think that women are still at a disadvantage in the world and at a disadvantage in the workplace and deserve the same rights and treatment as men or any other sex.
I do not. A lot of people don't know the official meaning of feminism or what being a feminist means. Like, a lot of people think it has a kind of negative connotation where women want to become better than men or men are weaker than women, sort of. And like, until people correct their way of thinking about feminists, I don't really want to involve myself.
Yeah, somewhat. Not crazy feminist. Like, I'm not like. Yeah, the thing is, I think, like, you need to put, like, how do I say this? Like, you can't be too much of woman first, no matter what. That's really like nonsense. But I think, but you do need everyone. You do need everyone know that you're important. You can't be like looked down at. Yeah.
Can you tell me about a time when you either saw or experienced sexism? You can.
A lot of catcalls, a lot of flashing dick at me.
Seriously?
Yeah, yeah. I think one time I was walking home and I was in my gym clothes, and there's a guy drive up to me. He asked me which direction, like what street is this street, and I told him to go straight forward. And then I think he pretended that he didn't hear what I say. So like he was like, come closer. And I was like, that's weird. And then like I just yelled, go straight. And then I heard that he was playing porn like in his car. I could hear stuff like, you know, girls moan, like just porn playing, and I was like, okay, this is getting weird. So I started walking away, and then he was keep following me, and I told him, go away, and then he would just say, come inside, do you need a ride, and then I'm like, no, go away. And I hate it when woman says no, that literally means no. It's not like, oh, make me say yes. It literally means no and no. And he was like, he think flashing his dick at me will make me go into his car. And I'm just like, what? No. And then I pull out my phone and say, if you don't go away, I'm gonna call 911 right now. And he went away. That's literally, you have to literally say, I'm gonna call cops to let a guy go away. That is really.
Fuck off! How has the media affected you, or like how have you seen the media affect others in regards to feminism?
I've kind of really only seen like the not real feminists, I guess, like the very extreme form of feminism. Like some people call them like feminazis or whatever, where they're like down with men, or men are all pigs, women are better, that sort of thing. But you know, I've also seen like people who women who have done it better, I guess, to spread feminism. Like Emma Watson did a speech a while back, and Beyonce's done so much through the years to support feminism. I don't think it's right to show like the very extreme forms of feminism more than the very good forms, I guess, or like the form it's meant to be. I feel like people don't want. I feel like the media wants people to see feminism as like very extreme, very like anti-men, I guess.
I mean, media is so all pervasive. It makes people, and it creeps into our consciousness and to our biases and our beliefs without us even knowing. So I think it's all the way through in lots of different ways. I mean, sometimes it comes up. There'll be a celebrity who's actually talking about feminism, but it's not the media isn't perfectly unbiased. It is biased, and that bias runs through everything.
It's just like constantly like so in your face, like all the time, and it's like now when like feminist things even pop up in like my feed, I'm just like, I like don't want to hear it anymore. Like I'm so done with just like biased articles and just like angry people bitching all the time. Like it's just like we shouldn't have to fight this hard for something so basic. Like, because, you know, it's important to start the conversation, but it's another thing to keep pushing and pushing and pushing the same conversation. And then at a point, I feel like that just becomes harmful and toxic, and you develop this bad attitude because you're like, all right, we get it. Like, let's move on with our lives.
Are you familiar with the term like whitewashed feminism?
I actually never heard that word, but from my impression, like, is like high class girl who like women who want their wage to raise because of it's not equal to men, and I think that's kind of like I think that's I don't really like know much about it, but I think it's more like racism.
Yes, I'm still kind of like not super completely informed on the whole white feminism thing that's kind of cropped up recently. To my understanding, it is when, you're talking about feminism, but you're still putting down the people of color thing, or I guess women of color in this sense, but you're advocating for feminism, but really only for white women, not for all women.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a real criticism of the feminist movement, and is a valid criticism. And I think it's interesting. People they'll say like, no, race is the most important, or class is the most important. Doesn't all the rest doesn't matter? Or gender is the most important. I think at any one time in history that might be true for any one of those things.
Yeah, it's basically upper class white women like focusing on themselves as like the subject of feminism when they ignore women of color who are also feminists, but they see them as like lesser, I guess. So they're like hypocritical in that sense.
It's weird because, like, I don't really know how long, like, whitewashed feminism has been around, but I've really only, like, heard it very recently, within the past, like, I'd say, like, couple months. But I think it's really only become a thing because we live in, like, a really, like, interesting time, because we're kind of all, like, like, in other generations we were, like, exploring the frontier, and then exploring hate, and we were exploring space, and now we're really kind of exploring what defines humans, and what defines humanity, and what makes us human, and, what makes us a woman, or a man, or if those things even exist, or, what makes us human.
What are your opinions on the even harsher discrimination of like people of color, queer people, that kind of thing, like going along with the whitewashed feminism?
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Yeah, I mean, I think that increasing awareness about the sort of insidious ways that those beliefs underlie so much of our culture and our assumptions, I think the increased awareness is really good for us. And I'm sure that causes like pushback also. I mean, I think that I'm a learning feminist. We're all, and I'm a learning, like, still learning about white privilege too, and definitely being a teacher, so many of the kinds of systemic discrimination is so clear in terms of class, and in terms of race, and in terms of, and in terms of gender identity, or sexuality identity. But yeah.
Do you know what misandry is?
Misandry?
Yeah.
No. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I think like hatred towards man.
I actually forgot what it means.
Are you familiar with the term meninist?
Yeah, I heard about it, but I think it's a joke, right? Like when guys say that, like girls hate them like so much.
Yeah, it's basically some dicks with dicks who think that men are being oppressed when they're not really.
Alright. It's my understanding. Meninist, I know it's like, isn't it just like a bunch of guys who are like, women don't need rights and shit, so they kind of made like this parody kind of counter movement where it's for like men's rights kind of deal.
Blinking lights on the airplane wings, up above the trees. Blinking down a Morse code signal, especially for me. Ain't a rainbow in the sky, in the middle of the night. but the signal's coming through. One day I will be alright again.